it's your girl Amani back at it again with another video for the GET series, which stands for Gifted, Enlightened, and Transparent, where I talk about some grants, proposal writing tips, proposal drafting tips, and I just put this series together really for family that asked me these questions. So if this is helpful for you, please give this video a like and share it with somebody who wants to get some shmoney for the amazing work that they're doing. A few weeks ago is when I did a deep dive on some grants that a cousin sent to me. And one of the unfortunate things about those grants was that there were a lot of fees involved. And if someone were to apply to all of the grants in that video, then they would have spent over $100 to hope for money. So I wanted to do a deep dive on some grants that did not have any fees, which are the ones that I'm more familiar with. So I wanted to use social media again. This is one that I found myself after doing some grant searching. And this set of grants does not have any fees attached to any of the applications. The grant deep dive video, aside from my introduction video, is the most watched on this series. So who knows? I might keep doing grant deep dives. And if you guys can get this video to, I'm going to say 100 likes, if that's what you guys want to see from me, get this video up in likes and I can do deep dives every month. So this set of grants are all grants that are due later in the month, this June 2024. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive right into it. So this is a grant roundup that was posted by Transform the Hustle on Instagram. And I really like this post because, again, there are no fees associated with this post or with the grants that are listed in this post, but we're going to look at every single one. We're going to start with Progressives Driving Small Business Forward Grant. Now, what did we learn in our introduction video? There were 4 types of funders or funding foundations that we were looking at: government, micro grants, private foundations, and we talked about family and corporate foundations as well. So Progressive is a company, so this is a corporate foundation. So let's dive into this first grant. The grant amount is $50,000. You must be 18 years old to apply, a U.S. resident, and be for-profit business. A lot of the grants that you might find are specific to nonprofits or fiscally sponsored projects. This one is specific to LLC businesses. So I think this one is really exciting for folks who are engaged in that. So let's take a deep dive into this one. This is going to be for 20 small businesses that'll get $50,000 each. They'll also be attending a 12-week virtual bootcamp coaching program. Now you have to have 10 or less employees, less than $5 million in gross annual revenue, be a for-profit business, which is usually an LLC, registered in one of the 50 United States or DC, excluding US territories like Puerto Rico. Have demonstrated a need for a qualifying commercial vehicle to run your business and a clear plan for growth as a result of this vehicle purchase. So a part of the requirements for this grant is needing a commercial vehicle like a van, a box truck, or maybe it's a larger vehicle used for commercial purposes in order to apply. So let's go to apply now. And okay, here it is. Go to the open grants. It'll say apply now. It's due mid this month. So you've got a business week to get through this. So let's look at the eligibility requirements. You have to want to be in the boot camp, which starts in September and is 12 weeks long. So it's going to take about 4 months of your life, and you're going to need to be flexible around that. So you got to put yes. Tell us about you. They got some identifying information in here, name of the business, some business identifying information in here. Now, what kinds of programs have you participated in the past? Let me break down the difference between these programs. Now, we talked about fellowships in one of our videos. Structured mentorship program. We all know what mentors are. A structured program would probably be more like a mentorship that is through an institution, like a church, like a college, like a school, like a business, like an apprenticeship. That could have been a mentor. I'd encourage folks to click that if you've been in some sort of mentorship program that was housed within a organization. Hello Alice Boost Camp. If you've never got a Hello Alice grant, then you probably haven't been in the Boost Camp. Don't lie about that because Hello Alice will know. Incubator and accelerator, they're quite similar. A business accelerator program and a business incubator program, the main differences is the stage of business that you're in when you get involved into the program. So for incubators, that's usually for like very, very early stage, generating the idea, putting the project together, laying the groundwork, building the foundation. Whereas an accelerator, you already have your idea, you probably already have a business plan, but you need that fuel of money in order to get where you're at to the next level. Maybe you have a pilot product, maybe you have a sample product. Maybe you need seed money to get to the next level, some sort of capital that's going to help you really accelerate where you're at in your business, but you already have the full vision. Whereas with the incubator, you might not have the full vision, but you're passionate about this specific topic and you want to go into this specific field. But the incubator is going to provide you more with like a network and mentorship to help massage what you're passionate about and what that idea is to get to the next level, to get to the envision stage and probably come out with that sample product. So incubator is like one step below an accelerator in terms of stage of business maturity. If you've participated in any of the above, describe your experience, any outcomes, learnings of the programs, max 150 words. That's not a bunch. Now put your EIN. So if you have a business, you have an LLC, your tax paperwork is going to have an EIN number on it. This is not your social security number. This is your business's tax identification number. That's so that they can verify your business. It is required. This isn't required if you put none of the above. It's not required. I encourage you to at least put structured mentorship program, okay? And talk about who your mentor was, where you met them, how long you had that relationship. Business industry, they got quite a few industries on here, quite a few industries. Like no matter what you're doing, you can fit in there. Okay. Now remember, you're going to want to need a car for this, a commercial vehicle for this. Street address, business mailing. Now, some people operate businesses out of their homes. So if you're putting your place of residence, that's not terrible. That's not going to look terrible. Obviously not a PO box because it's saying street. And how would you describe your business? What are the products and or services you offer? 150 words max. So this is not for your full business proposal. This 0 out of 900 is probably for characters. Yeah, it's for characters. So this is not a full proposal. This is just a short synopsis of what your business is doing, what you're providing to your customers, to your community. My business is oh, wow. So you could be more than an LLC. You could be a C Corp, S Corp, including yourself, how many employees you have. Your annual gross revenue has to be below 5 million. So if you put that 5 million plus, you're going to be taking yourself out of the eligibility requirements. So it should be no more than this one. Okay. What's your expected annual gross revenue? And gross revenue includes product sales, grants, it includes seed capital, donations, subscriptions, all of that, everything. Okay, gross revenue, not net. Everything before costs and expenses. What's your annual gross revenue for this calendar year? Oh, so they asked about the previous year and this year. Ooh. So they want to see your growth between 2023 and 2024. Learn more about your challenges as a small business owner. Now, there are probably certain things that this program specializes in supporting business owners with. Be honest, okay? I'm concerned my business will go under. Oh my goodness. I'm confident and steady that my business will stay afloat. Don't be trying to act like everything's good. If everything's not good, that's okay. That's actually going to be appealing because this is offering you a 12-week course. So I'm struggling, but I'm confident my business will stay afloat. It should at least be this because you're applying for money to, progress forward. I'm unsure if I'll remain open. I'm concerned that my business will go under. What is your biggest obstacle or challenge that your business faces? So don't put this and then, you got a challenge now. No, be honest. What are you struggling with? If you're struggling financially, that's still a struggle. And then you can go here growing your business. Maybe you want to expand, but you're having a hard time figuring out how to select candidates, finding partners, acquiring customers, day to day ops. Maybe it's struggling with getting customer feedback or implementing customer feedback. Elaborate on your biggest obstacle or challenge. So, from taking one of these, talk more about it. Maybe recall a specific experience. You only get 1,000 characters. That's the most characters that they've allotted in this application. So this is really important to them. They want to know about your challenges and your obstacles. They're probably going to pull from this to see if they're covering that in the 12-week course that begins in September that you have to want to go to in order to get this grant. They're going to pull from that to see if they're covering it so that you will be to see if you'll be a good fit or not. Have you taken the business health score? If you haven't, go look for it. Okay. Go look for the business health score and take the quiz so that you could say yes. Okay. Because you want to be completely prepared and look like, hey, I'm doing all the background work because you're going to be taking a course. And in the course, you're probably going to be taking quizzes and different stuff. You're probably going to have to start with the business health score in the course anyway. So go ahead and take it. It's going to say, what do you need most help with? What component, and that'll probably spit out in the quiz. So go ahead and take the quiz. Management practices, financial performance, credit history, or I have not taken. Don't be an NAer. Okay, how do you make a positive impact in the community? And in addition to your core business proposition, does your community do anything? Sorry, does your company do anything more for the community? Okay. So, what's your positive impact? And what more do you do? Do you donate funds to causes and organizations? Donate goods and services? Raise awareness? Host volunteer days? Host community gatherings? Now, let me say this. A lot of us do not take into account the costs that we forego when we serve our community. We just don't think about it as service because it's so natural to us. But if you do hair and your business model, and I'm speaking from personal experience because I had a salon for 6, 7 years. If you do hair and you get paid for doing hair, and then you'd be doing all your family members' hair for free, donate goods and services. You do. Okay. If you are in the field of, let's stay in beauty, you do nails, you do hair, but you also on the side are collecting signatures for proposals that you care about, you canvass in your community, raise awareness for a social mission. Oh, and look at that. You can collect multiple. Do you host volunteer days of service with your employees or with yourself? Do you go and volunteer your time to do things that are outside of your realm of expertise or even in your realm of expertise? If it's in your realm of expertise, then you're donating goods and services. But if it's outside of your realm of expertise, like you do hair, you do nails, and you're going and you're packing bag lunches for kids at Gleaners, I need you to think outside of what complex borders we put around ourselves when we're filling out these applications because you can do so much more. Okay, so this is the last section, the most important part. They say, tell us about you, your entrepreneurship journey, why you became an entrepreneur. This now is the most characters they've allotted us. So they really care about this. You're going to take your bio that you already have because you know you have one, and you're going to plop it in here and you're going to length it out. You're going to add some experiences that you've had that encouraged you to get to the point where you're adding your bio. And then if that's not enough characters after that, you're going to add where you are now and what you're proud of. Now, the boost camp, if you choose to participate, you will. If you want this grant, you need to demonstrate some interest in participating in this. How would you utilize a commercial vehicle for your business? This is really important. So, all of these are really credible reasonings behind why you'd want a commercial vehicle. So this is the same amount of characters. They really want to know the reason behind, and you're going to add that there. And we're ending this out with talking about ways that you and your business supports the community and what makes you proud of your business and your accomplishment to date. So your biggest accomplishment to date, something that you've done, maybe it's an accreditation that you've earned, an award you've been nominated for, an event that you did successfully. Quantify. If it's an event, how many people attended that event? Okay. The next thing that we're going to look at is the Johnson & Johnson Health Voices Impact Fund. It's due on the 18th, and this is a $5,000 grant. So the Health Voices Impact Fund, I did not see the grant portal, but I might see it as we go through the grant guidelines. You're always going to want to check out the grant guidelines because they're going to use language that you're going to want to pull out and use in your grant application. So, Health Voices, this looks like a corporate funder in combination with a private funder because it is Johnson & Johnson that's collaborating with this. Now, this is for a 501c3 organization. And if you're an LLC and you just want to see LLC grants deep dive, like this video, comment, I want to see a specific LLC deep dive video. And if we get 100 likes by next month, we can do that. These are the eligibility requirements, parameters for funding. These are really all, look at all this. This is all eligibility stuff, this entire page. Health focus, online communities, and blog. Wow, this is really interesting. I really, wow. Now, this community foundation is in New Jersey, but they're going to be supporting folks, it looks like it's nationwide. Let's dive deeper into it. But Johnson & Johnson established this fund. So this is a corporate foundation. This is what they care about. So this is the language that you're going to want to use in your application. Engage, inform, empower patients, advocate for the community, combating stigma, combating isolations, reaching communities that are often marginalized or excluded. Ooh, talk about marginalized communities in your target population, in your target consumer base. Provide education. Be an effective patient advocate. Awards will be given for new innovative ideas that best meet the fund objectives and may not be given to support existing or ongoing advocate activities. So they're specifically looking for things that are in the ideation stage. This is really good. So this could be a 501c3 that has a new project that they're trying to get off the ground. All right, so the parameters, discrete in nature with an identified deliverable. Projects submitted for funding should benefit the public good and the patient community. Elements of the following should meet these characteristics. Can be focused on chronic disease or across chronic diseases. Must be a U.S. citizen or a 501c3 organization. Love it. So these requirements look pretty standard. You have to have defined deliverables and measurable outcomes with any project. Completion within a year of receiving the funds, that's standard. Online project status report submitted 6 months at 6 months, and final online report submitted at 12 months. So they want a midterm exam and a final exam. They want to know how things are going 6 months in. Willingness to share about the project with other online advocates. Agreement to disclose any project materials that funding the project for the project was provided by. So anything that you bought or any resources that you acquired through the funding that was provided by Heal the Voices Impact Fund, this of New Jersey, you should be willing to disclose what those are. That's standard. Preference is given to, those marginalized communities who often experience healthcare disparities, measurable outcomes. Okay, yeah, this is all standard. So eligibility requirement for nonprofit applicants must have a 5-member board minimum operating budget 15K, cannot exceed 250K. So if you're anywhere between that for your organization, not for the project. Operating budget is usually pointing to the organization. Funding will not be provided for the following: capital, so anything building related, a commercial building, a vehicle, anything like that. You can't use 5,000 that they're giving for this. Research, events with a fundraising element. So you could do an event, but you can't be trying to sell tickets or anything like that. Trips or tours, political candidates for office, religious stuff, endowments, medicine, or medical treatments. Okay. So it's a 5K grant. They're talking about evaluation and stuff here. So let's see if we can get to the actual application. They have a video with guidance that's really good, that's really helpful. Click here for the 2024 application. Only US citizens, organizations using a fiscal sponsor must apply as individuals if the fiscal sponsor doesn't meet the nonprofit requirements. So let's look back at the nonprofit requirements. So if the fiscal sponsor doesn't have like a health focus, that's okay. But when you fill out your application, apply as Amani Sawari instead. They'll take the funds in your name and then funnel it back to you. All right, let's go to the next application, the Creative Business Boost Initiative. Here we go. Here we go. This one's also on Alice. And this is one that I thought was interesting. So, the Creative Business Boost Initiative is a program run by Hello Alice and supported by Etsy's Uplift Fund. I did not know Etsy had its own foundation. Wow. Through the initiative, 100 recipients will be selected to receive a $5,000 grant. And they'll also be in this business boot camp. Alice is really trying to get this business boot camp filled. Now, the business boot camp, we already read about that. Applications are open through the 21st. To be eligible, the business has to distribute a need for funding and business coaching. And then we've got some eligibility requirements. Wait, there's more. There's a free small business virtual forum hosted by Etsy. So if you're interested in this, I would definitely say go to this, go to it, let them know that you went. So if you're selected, are you willing to do the boot camp? 12-week monthly sessions that include additional arrangement surveys and check-ins. How many hours a month can you dedicate to participating in the boot camp? I'm gonna go here, but that's a hard question because the check-in is probably like an hour, but then they probably want you to be able to do like, surveys and homework and other stuff. So you want to show that you're willing. Now, if you only have 1 to 5 hours, be honest. Like if you work 40 hours a week or 50 or 60 hours a week, put in your phone number. Didn't mean to show my phone number. Put in your phone number, your email address, gender, racial. For some of these questions, depending on the org, you could prefer not to say. It's up to you. You don't have to disclose everything about yourself. Are you military? Age range? Whew, y'all, I am on the brink of youth. Whew. Okay, family business, purchase my business. What was your path towards business ownership? That's really interesting. Personal savings, bank loan, angel investors, venture capital. This is really interesting because they don't have grants in here. I might do angel investors, friends or family, or even like purchase my business. But my business didn't exist prior to me. So that's why I'm like, I might just do this. What specific business related activity? Now I'm actually going to apply for this one. That's why I'm actually filling it out, you guys. You're in competition with me for this one. What specific business related activity have you participated in that significantly benefited your business most? I'm going to say fellowship. Have you participated? So please describe. I'm not going to fill this out entirely, but I am going to put some stuff in. How do you prefer to receive feedback and guidance? You could select multiple. Name of your business. Have a website, y'all. We gotta look that up. We gotta look that up. We gotta look all this stuff up. We're gonna take some time on that. No. Industry. How would you describe your business? I'm not gonna do that right now. Like, wow, you all, if you see some of these and you're willing to get in one of these, you should. You should. Women's Business Enterprise National Council. I'm gonna look that up. Let's see. You have to share like your tax returns and stuff. You have to be willing to. Ooh, $350. So this is a hidden fee, y'all. If y'all really want to apply to something like this, now I would look into other ones of these and see. But this certification thing is really interesting, and this is something that I might include in like a LLC deep dive vid. Are these business certifications and which ones are like I don't want to say worthwhile because they could all be worthwhile depending on what networks you want to be in, but which ones are the most accessible, really? Because dropping $350 to hope for money is one thing, but dropping $350 to be a part of a network and access information and resources that you might not have had access to otherwise, in addition to the hope for potential money, is something else. So, yeah, I'm not going to put anything for those. And maybe you put other and you've got some other certification from somewhere else. That's cool too. Including yourself, how many employees do you have? What percentage of your team is from a historically underrepresented group? Boom. What is your annual gross revenue for the previous calendar year? Boom. We don't make that much money at Sawari. We don't make any money at Sawari Media. Okay. But we are showing growth. Have you turned down a business loan from a traditional bank in the last 5 years? How would you articulate your current business outlook? Yeah, that's a good place to be. Your top business goal in the next 5 years. I don't think they're going to want you to be in the ideation stage, which is what it is with Launch My Business. Biggest obstacle or challenge that you face? Raising capital slash finding a loan is not the same thing to me. That's so interesting that they put that in the same spot. You got to pick something that you're willing to elaborate on or that you can elaborate on. Yeah, I'm going to have to do the business out score in order to apply. But most of these are looking pretty similar. Is this the exact same grant? Hold on. I got confused because the progressive driving small business forward and the creative boost initiative are so similar, like the questions and what they're asking you to do. There are some small differences. It looks like Hello Alice has a very specific product that it's offering, which is the Boost Camp, and they partner with different corporate funders in order to funnel people into their boost camp. So I'm really interested in applying for this one to see if they're like, oh, you didn't get the money, but join our boost camp. So we'll see how that goes. We have the Grist Imagine 2200 short story contest. Now, this looks interesting. Creative climate fiction, which is dope. So, 12 brand new climate fiction stories feature vivid, hope-filled, diverse versions of climate progress. These are the winning stories. If you want to apply to this, I strongly suggest you read a couple of these stories just to get an idea of what provoked them, what their judges are really leaning towards. And so here are the stories here. It looks like all of the illustration is the same artist, which is really cool because if you need art for your book, looks like that's one of the resources that they're willing to provide, which is super cool. This artwork is gorgeous. Submit your story now. We're thrilled to announce our 2024-25 contest winners. Ooh, they're already an author and journalist and award-winning debut novelist. The other person is a science fiction and nonfiction writer with their third novel. So if you have a writing background, it looks like this would be a great pitch. So in 2,500 to 5,000 words, show us your dream of building. There's no cost to enter. The winner will be awarded 3,000. Second and third place will receive 2,000 and 1,000, and then there will be an additional 9 finalists who get $3,000. That's pretty cool. So entry is free. Submissions close on the 24th of this month, just before midnight. It's open to writers anywhere in the world. So you don't have to be restricted to the US. You have to be 18 years or older, and there is a word limit. The submissions have to be written in English, and only one submission will be accepted per entrant. So if you have tons of stories, you need to pick one that fits in the word count so that you can be eligible for this. Now, they can be co-authored. Co-authors, only one of the co-authors can submit the story, and the submission form has a way to credit the co-authors. It cannot be generated or written at all by AI. That's crazy that that has to be in there, but it does. The Spring Creek project at Oregon University is offering to participate in the Environmental Writing Fellowship and Residency. Wow, that's awesome. So the winning finalist gets access to another program that's offered in Oregon at the Spring Creek project, and they'll get another $3,000 if they're willing to participate in that. All of the 12 final stories will be on the Grist website and a part of their 2200 collection. It should be uploaded as a Word document, Doc or DocX. Now, they have a very specific title format. Make sure that you follow the title format, because people who don't follow the title format, or when you submit something via email and you don't follow the subject header format, it's just an indicator that you don't read the guidelines, that you don't read instructions, and that you don't follow details, which doesn't look good in the judging. It should not include any biographical information. Your document for your story shouldn't have your name in it, your age, your race, nothing. The first page of your document should include the story and the word count at the top in 14-point font. So make sure you put all that in there. And then the rest of the document should be in 12-point font with double line spacing and at least 1-inch margins. And your document should include a header in the upper right-hand corner. So let's dive in. So are you the original author? You gotta be. You gotta be. Now, we just read the eligibility requirements. Can't be a actual employee of the foundation. Will you submit the story to our contest and nowhere else until you're informed about the results? The correct answer is yes. So they want to be like the one to debut the story, which is really cool. So make sure that either you wrote it specifically for this, or it's something that you've written that hasn't gone out into the masses. Has your story ever been previously published? It shouldn't have been. Is your story fitting in the word count? Yes. Is it in English? Majority. So when they say like majority, maybe there's some dialogue that's in another language, but the person reading the story doesn't have to be a speaker of that language in order to understand the themes of the story. So that should be a yes. Has to be an original work. Okay. Here's some identifying information, birthday, all that stuff, the actual document. Please read in full. This is all of that instructional information for formatting the document, the actual date, which is whatever day you're submitting it on, the title and the word count. Again, we got some demographic questions, and then submit. So if you're a writer and you're interested in this opportunity, I definitely support and suggest you dive in. All right, so the next one is the Roy W. Dean grant between $3,000 and $3,500. So if you're a filmmaker, here's some funding just for you. Now, anyone with a unique project, this could be student filmmakers, this could be independent producers, for film, digital, and video products that are unique for society. And it can be a new project. I think they prefer it to be a new project or a work in progress. Awesome. So let's check that out. So they have a video that I'm not going to watch, but you definitely can. Unlocking Your Filmmaking Potential, the film grant. Now entering its fourth decade. This is a fund for independent feature films, documentaries, web series, short films with budgets of 500,000 or less that make a contribution to society. They do 4 of these each year. 3 are for documentaries, narrative features, web series, and short films. 1 for spring, summer, and fall. In addition, there is a Roy W. Dean short film grant that's exclusively for short films, which doesn't include nonfiction documentaries or web series. Then there's a new Carol Dorothy Joyce grant for student filmmakers. So if you're a student, you can specifically apply for that one. But let's read on more about the Roy W. Dean one. So here are their 4 rounds throughout the year. Then there's one specifically for Joyce. All grant applicants are entitled to a 15-minute free consultation. That's really good. So if you want some feedback on your proposal, even if you don't and you apply to this, you should. Because if you want to apply for other grants or for other like angel investors, funders to invest in your film, you should probably know what this funder thought, especially since they've been around for 40 years doing this. So the winners receive a cash reward as well as goods and discounted services by the film industry companies and professionals. Wow. This is the different types of stuff. So they had 3,500 from this production company. Just under 1,200 for a drive. That's cool. L'Oreal drone imagery, 15% off of their services. So using a drone in your movie. Another $500 in lighting, 40% on color editing. So all of these different things. So it'll probably be something similar for the summer grant. Um, this one is another one where they list all the different stuff. It looks like it's pretty comparable. Wow, $6,000 in animation. That's super cool. So if you're in film, if you're in entertainment, if you're in short film, let's see if we can look at the application without making an account. I'm really, really curious. So you're going to need a cover letter. Oh, they have a video that probably walks us through the application a bit. So you'll need a cover letter, a proposal for documentaries or a synopsis for shorts, a marketing, distribution, social media plan, crew information, so who's on your team, budget or estimate, and then a sample work, maybe of the trailer or prior work that you've done. Now they have specific things for documentaries versus short films. This is very helpful. Like they break down everything that they really want to see. And then they have sample work guidelines. So if you want to send them like a URL on YouTube or Vimeo, then you can do that. Steps to completing the application. Make sure you print and save a copy for your records and upload the files that you've created on a separate doc into the app. Provide a URL to sample work. And from the Heart production, they request a thank you to all the donors if chosen as a winner. So they want some, a little bit of credit. So let's go on to our last one, QuickBooks Small Business Grant, $10,000 for a proposal with a deadline of the 30th. You have to be established at least 1 year. So if you're just ideating and putting your LLC together, you're probably going to want to check out one of the Hello Alice grants or something. But this one, no more than 99 W-2 employees, including the business owners. And you have to be lawfully licensed in whatever your field is, and your business has to be a legal entity and in good standing with the government. Okay, so let's look at this QuickBooks. So win $10,000 for your business. We're giving away 20 QuickBook grants. Wow, they got an ad popping up on me. Reach your next business goal, check eligibility. So you can register to apply as early as May 28th. The application is due on the 30th, and they'll email to let you know if you're a winner. Look at these QuickBook plans. Now, you'll probably get a QuickBook plan if you're one of the winners. So let's look at the application. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. Oh, this is just like a registration. Birthday, identifying information, and company identifying information. No, let me just go look at the thing. Let me just keep looking. y'all, am I not gonna be able to look at this one? Y'all, I might not look at this one because I don't feel like putting this in. I don't feel like registering for this. 20 business owners with grant funding and 3 months of coaching to help grow their business. Let's look at the rules. No purchase is necessary. What I tell you guys, no purchase is necessary. It takes money to make money, but it doesn't take money to inspire people and do incredible work. And it shouldn't take money to want to invest in those people either. So, for the quick grant program, this content restriction submission must be in English, no longer than 250 words of your original work, includes references to your products. Submission cannot promote any illegal activities of any kind, must not inappropriately disparage the sponsor or any party, must not promote alcohol, illegal drugs, yeah, or any political agenda. Okay. Must not contain confidential information, must not violate rule or policy of business, cannot contain inappropriate, indecent, slanderous, disparaging, defamatory material, cannot contain any material that promotes bigotry, racism, hatred, or harm against any group for any reason, and must not contain unlawful material that violates laws and regulations of the state where submitted. Sponsors' use of submissions. Huh. Submitting a submission constitutes as business consent to give the sponsor and its agents royalty-free, irrevocable, perpetual, sublicensable, non-exclusive, absolute right and license to use, edit, cut, rearrange, translate, add to, delete from, reproduce, modify, publish, create derivative works from, reuse, adapt, exploit the content and the elements embodied within the submission. That's interesting. See, this is why I didn't want to make an account. I felt some googly moogly. So the winner requirements, the prize winners will be notified by email. They have to just sign a declaration of compliance, liability waiver, and a publicity release declaration within 5 days of notice or attempted notice being sent. So if you don't check your email, you're going to be SOL. All right. If the potential prize winner is disqualified for any reason, it may be given to the runner up. There's a total of 20 $10,000 cash prizes. Okay. Small claims court. Whew. What is QuickBooks got into? I mean, this is QuickBooks, so they got a airtight policy and conditions. So the winners list, there's gonna be a winners list posted. It's probably not there yet. Yeah. So this is where you'll be if you win. So that's for QuickBooks. I'm not going to make an account for the QuickBooks to actually look at the application because I don't want my data to be publicized or reformatted, restructured, edited, or anything. So I'm not going to do that. But what I will tell you is my favorite applications are definitely the GRIST submittable for the Imagine Climate Future Writers Grant, the Roy W. Dean Grant for short films, and I really like the Health Voices Impact Fund if you're in that space. That looks like a great one. I wanted to show you guys grants that are eligible for LLCs as well as nonprofits and fiscally sponsored groups. And I also wanted to show you guys some things that were open to folks that don't identify as women. So I hope you guys enjoyed this.